What's up guys, my name's Brandon and Apple just released a new firmware update for the AirPods 3 and the AirPods Pro. So this is the first update for the AirPods 3 and the third update this year for the AirPods Pro. So last month, of course, was when we got the big AirPods update. And if you missed that video, I will leave it linked down in the description below. But today, Apple did release a new 4A402 firmware update for the AirPods Pro and the 4B66 firmware update for the third generation AirPods that were just recently released. And in this video, we're going to discuss what's new in these updates and if it fixes some of the bugs that we've been facing recently. So unlike iOS, Apple does not provide release notes or tell us what has been changed with these AirPods updates. So the fixes and changes are kind of just for us to discover on our own. And Apple also does not have a simple button to press to update the firmware like we do on iOS and iPadOS. So we go to general software update for iOS updates, but for AirPods, it just happens automatically in the background. And because that is the way that these AirPods update, you might already be on the latest version as you're watching this video. So if you want to check that, all you have to do is open up your AirPods and then go into your settings. And then if you go over to the Bluetooth section right here and just tap on the I, you will see down at the bottom we have the version number. So you can see my version is the latest, it's 4B66. Now, if you are not on the latest version, there is a way to get your AirPods to update faster. And the way to do that is to first off, make sure your AirPods are connected to your phone. Make sure they show connected here in Bluetooth. You may want to take them out and just listen to some music for a little bit to make sure the music is coming through your AirPods, and then put them back in the charging case right here. Close the charging case and hook it up to a charger. Make sure that your AirPods case is charging. Make sure it's on 80% or higher, and then just lock your phone, go back to the lock screen, and just simply wait for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And by then, your AirPods should be updated to the latest version. So after you go through that process, you should be on the latest version. You can see here on my AirPods Pro, that version is 4A402. So just a slight bump from the 4A400 from last month. And after you update your AirPods, you're not going to notice anything visually, no visual changes or visual features like we had last time. So, we got the major features like conversation boost and the AirTag like Find My features last month. But in this update, it seems to only be about bug fixes. We're going to get a lot of bug fixes with this update. So the biggest bug I've had over the past month or so with my AirPods Pro has been related to notify when left behind. So sometimes it will just simply not work and it will not even show up in my AirPods Pro section. So if I go to my AirPods Pro here, we could see that this whole section is now showing up properly. But before this update, this whole section down here would simply not show up. It would only show the play sound and find buttons right there. The little sections right there would not show the notification section at all. So I noticed that this update fixed that and it shows everything properly every time. And if it doesn't, you just keep the case open on your AirPods and it will eventually show up there. Keep it open for like a minute. Now, also I noticed that in this update, you can see where it shows find, we could do the proximity search now right away. So sometimes on the previous updates, it would take me to the Maps application. So even if I'm right within proximity, of my AirPods, it would still prompt me to go to the Maps application instead of going into this view. And I was almost never able to get into this proximity searching view like you can with the AirTags. I was not able to do that on the previous version, but now after updating, you can see it works pretty much every single time now. We could do this. So if I put my AirPods way over here, you can see it shows that they'll be near. Or let me put them over here. So you can see it's near and it will, take me to where they are when they're within proximity. So thankfully that has been fixed here with this 4A402 update. Now also related to notify when left behind, I noticed that there were times where I would have my AirPods 3 or my AirPods Pro with me and I would still get the notify when left behind alert. It would tell me I left without my AirPods, even though they were in my pocket. So for example, if I left and I was in my car and I had my AirPods in my pocket, by the time I got down the street out of the radius, it would actually tell me I forgot my AirPods at home, even though they're in my pocket. So I'm not sure if that was because they just didn't, they weren't connected or the location just didn't update, as frequently as it should. I'm not sure why, but that has been fixed with this update. I tested it multiple times when leaving the house with my AirPods in my pocket, and I never got that alert one time. Another thing I noticed after updating is that the glyph icon bug in the control center for the AirPods 3 has been resolved. So now if I put an AirPod from the AirPods 3 in my ear, you could see that the glyph icon here in the control center, it shows up right away, and it doesn't show the AirPods Pro anymore like it did previously. It shows the AirPods 3. But I will say that the time it takes to connect to my iPhone or my iPad is about the same. I've not noticed any difference in the time it takes to connect to my devices. Now, Conversation Boost was introduced on the AirPods Pro with the previous firmware update last month, and it actually does seem to be improved after updating. So I tried this feature out specifically since I was very disappointed with it in the previous update. You guys know if you watched that video, I was not impressed at all with this update. I thought it actually made the experience worse, even for those hard of hearing, but it seems to be actually fixed now with this firmware update. So if we go into our settings here and then down to accessibility and then to AirPods, AirPods Pro, and then to audio accessibility settings, headphone accommodations, and then do the custom audio setup. And then after this, you will be able to customize your transparency mode and take advantage of Conversation Boost. And then after we do that custom audio setup, we see transparency mode down here, and you will see Conversation Boost right here. You could also access this from the control center if you have the hearing toggle down here. So if you have the little ear right here, if you tap on that and then go down to the bottom, you will see Conversation Boost. And then you do also have the ambient noise reduction, which does also seem to be slightly improved here with this update. So it seems that Apple is tweaking Conversation Boost to be a little bit more useful and a little bit more, accurate for those with hearing issues. And as far as spatial audio or spatialized stereo, depending on what you're listening to. So of course I'm listening to music, so it's going to be spatial audio. But if you're on YouTube or Twitch, it could be spatialized stereo, but that seems to be about the same in this update. I've not noticed any difference with this or with active noise cancellation or transparency mode. They all seem to be about the same in terms of the strength and the quality. I don't really notice anything different. I was hoping that active noise cancellation would improve, but it does sound identical to how it did previously. And then as far as automatic switching, that also performs about the same between iOS and macOS devices. It's still more of a hassle when connecting to macOS, but it's really not any different than it has been previously. I always have issues when I connect from a Mac to an iOS device or vice versa. I always have to manually connect on my Mac. I wish it would switch, more seamlessly than it does currently, even on macOS Monterey. And then finally, some people were also reporting hissing noises in previous versions, but I've not experienced that myself. People had that with the AirPods 3 and the AirPods Pro, but I've not had any hissing noise or any kind of weird noise come from my AirPods. So this update could fix that, but I'm not able to report on that because I've not had that issue to begin with. So anyways, guys, this is a pretty solid bug fix update for the AirPods Pro and the AirPods 3, mainly related to the Find My and the Notify When Left Behind features, and it could also fix some miscellaneous bugs that you've been facing as well. So let me know how your AirPods are performing after this update in the comments below. And if you found anything else, also let me know down there in a comment below, because again, Apple does not release any kind of release notes or tell us anything that's changed in these AirPods updates. It's kind of just for us to figure out on our own. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. And of course, make sure to subscribe for a lot more AirPods firmware update videos. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.